Welcome to this episode of the Voynich Manuscript podcast. My name is Finn Hammersley, and today I'm joined by...
Talitha.
And Jacob again.
And today we'll be covering the topic of the death in room 348.
Ah.
Oh, yeah!
I'd
Theme tune. Yep.
podcast listeners, I wasn't told about any of this.
Yeah.
Because I have no self-control in life, and I would have researched all of it prior to this, and that's not the point of this podcast.
I just forgot that we were doing them.
That's so
I'm
weird.
happy to learn what this is because I remember now.
How does... Okay, before we get into the actual thing, how does this relate to Iron Man 2?
It's actually in the first paragraph of my notes. So
Okay, we'll get right into it then.
Alright. So just a quick bit of preface for this episode. This episode is actually quite unique because it's my first one that has actually been solved.
Oh, what?
It's just, it was a mystery for quite a while, but it's just a story I fucking love. So
Now
I decided
really
to cover it anyway.
I really want to get this correct now. Something to prove now.
Does it being solved make it no longer a cryptid thingy?
Well, half of them aren't to do with cryptids. Most of them are just mysteries that are a bit weird.
Yeah, cryptids are creatures, aren't they?
Yeah,
I don't know
cryptids
that
are
much, but
Creatures.
like
Does
House
it
of
being
Castle
solved
isn't
ruin it for
exactly a
people?
cryptid. It might.
Yeah, what
but
do we call these?
mysteries.
Mysteries.
Mysteries, okay. But this
But
one
not this one, though.
Well, once again, I love this story, and I know that you two will as well. So
Okay.
I don't really care if the viewers are like, no, it's not a mystery. It shouldn't be an episode of the podcast.
You're right. The points are made up and the rules don't... the points are made up and the rules don't matter.
Yeah. Precisely. That if that isn't the tagline of this podcast, I don't know what is.
We're getting sued.
All
No,
right.
that's you.
Yeah, just you, Jacob. Alright, so. It's the evening of Wednesday, the 15th of September, 2010. A travelling salesman named Greg Flanagan stops in the Elegante Hotel in Beaumont, Texas. He sits down, pantsless, to lounge, smoke, and snack on a Reese's Crispy Crunchy bar. And to
Okay.
watch Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of detail.
It is.
There.
There is a
When,
shocking amount of detail.
When I was trying to figure out what this is, I just searched up Iron Man 2 cryptid. It came up with nothing. Because I was like, what do I call this? I see now. He was watching Iron Man 2.
It's actually just an SCP, and it's just Robert Downey Jr. crawling out of the TV screen, ring style.
Oh
Watching
my god.
Iron Man 2 sounds like a euphemism.
Well, he was doing it without any pants, so it might as well be.
Why
Yeah.
isn't he wearing pants?
I don't know.
Well, okay,
Um,
you don't... it's not that uncommon to when you're in, like, the space of your own room to not want to wear pants.
See,
Especially if Robert Downey Jr. is on the screen.
I know he's in his room, but I like to think he's just chilling in the lobby watching on the TV there.
You just put Iron Man 2 on the TV.
Yeah, he fully hijacked it.
Yeah.
Instead of running the news, he's like, no, we're watching Iron Man 2 now. Sit down, shut up, take off your pants.
Alright. Just before the end of Iron Man 2, he kneels over on his bed and dies. This is the mystery, the how he died.
Okay.
He kneels on his bed and dies.
Yep.
Specifically over his bed. He doesn't just kneel on it, he kneels over it.
No, on his bed.
Okay.
Alright,
On
so in his room, there was no sign of a struggle. he had a lit cigarette in his left hand, and the room was oddly hot. He was face down, arse in the air, with no pants on, like I said.
Very important.
When he was medically examined by a coroner, the only physical damage on the outside of his body
was to his rectum.
Was to his hand.
Any other guesses?
No? Penis?
Wait, no, that's the outside of his body.
You're getting closer.
Taint?
It was a small laceration on his scrotum.
Okay. Is it specified how big this laceration is?
For some reason, no, it doesn't.
Huh. Weird the coroner wouldn't have done that, because usually they're able to, correct me if I'm wrong, usually they're able to tell what kind of object created it, like if it was a sharp or a blunt or whatever weapon, how big the weapon generally could have been, like the diameter of it, and how big the incision is.
Now, are there any guesses as to what could have happened to poor Greg Flanagan as of this point?
Yes, Greg Flanagan.
Greg Flanagan.
Okay, so by hot, do we mean just like a bit warm, or is it like musty in there?
It's in all the reports. It just says like oddly or weirdly hot. So one would assume like upwards of like upper 30s, lower 40s, because this is in Texas. So,
my first immediate thought before you mentioned the laceration was a gas leak from a radiator.
Yeah, that's just the general, I think, feeling behind any of these kind of things.
What was the cigarette still lit?
Like,
that's a good point. It probably wasn't that bad of a gas leak.
Yeah, I don't think it was lit when they found him, but I feel that it was lit. He was holding it as if it were lit, and it had burnt down a bit.
It was hella lit.
One might say it was hella lit. Wait, did we just make a joke?
Yes. Oh God. Okay. So, also on the gas leak theory, there was no report anywhere else of the gas leak. And no one else had any sort of problems with that. So,
do we just to run with the gas leak theory for a bit?
Yeah.
Even though it's probably going to lead to a dead end, like he did. Did he have a radiator or anything of that description in his room? Because it wouldn't have necessarily affected other rooms per se if it was a radiator that had like a busted hose or something.
I couldn't find anything on a radiator, but he did have an air conditioning unit.
Air conditioning? I don't think that would have caused any problems per se. I'm just staring at my air conditioner suspiciously while I'm saying this, as if I might suddenly keel over my bed and die.
You shouldn't trust it. It's probably it's out there to get you.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Look at those teeth.
All right, so internally... So the laceration on the scrotum was the only external wound he had.
Okay.
So internally was a very different story. He showed all of the signs of being beaten to death or crushed by something.
Oh.
He had tears. Yeah. He had tears in his liver, stomach, intestines, and heart, as well as 2 broken ribs. The medical examiner concluded that the cut to his scrotum was from a kick from a steel-toe boot and deemed this a homicide.
Oh my God.
I knew they would have specified what caused it. I knew it. Steel-toe boot.
Oh God.
I just realized.
Imagine a steel-toe boot to the scrotum.
Of course you're going to be affected by that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Just died.
We
That's
have
how he
scrotums.
died.
Oh, Jesus, that does sound
That's
painful.
how he died.
Ugh.
I wouldn't be surprised if
jacking off
that
time
was a heart
into...
attack or something in him. Getting kicked by a steel-toe boot.
It would have been
What are
good
the other crushing things?
After death, posthumous.
Yeah, but he didn't have any bruises on his body.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have. Would it have caused bruises if he's already dead? Because there's no longer blood flow.
Yes, it would have.
It would have. Okay, ignore me being dumb. Oh yeah, it would have pooled in the skin. Yeah, never mind. Ignore me. Okay. So broken ribs. Was it tears on his liver?
Tears on his liver, stomach, intestines, and heart.
Okay. Sorry, my phone just wasn't turning on for a second. I have to keep this on because sometimes Discord doesn't like to stay on when my phone turns off.
Fair enough.
Okay. So lacerations on all of that, broken ribs.
I think no matter what, he was definitely jacking off to Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
You know, I would accept that, but Iron Man 2 is not a good film. I'm
trying to remember which events occurred in Iron Man 2. I do love Iron Man.
It's just a boring film.
Okay, so, alright. So, Justin Hammer's in it, which he's pretty cool. Right, he's like dancing around, making robots that don't work. It was pretty cool when Iron Man put on that suitcase thing. That's pretty,
Oh, is this the one with the guy who
the Russian guy?
What, Whiplash?
I haven't watched this in years. I don't even remember when this came out.
No injections.
2010 it came out.
Okay, so it's been over a decade since I watched this. The like orange injection thing was
No. That's Iron Man 3.
Okay, that's number 3. Never mind, I'm getting my movies mixed up.
Yeah, this one was a lot more boring.
Yeah, like I said.
You know what?
Except when the fighting happened. The fighting was kind of sick.
You know what? I'll accept that because if I have no recollection of it, it can't have been that interesting.
If it wasn't a fight scene, it was either a Robert Downey Jr. being an alcoholic.
Sure.
And that's it.
Welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. Today we have Craig. Craig, do you want to talk about your situation for a bit?
Craig is still a bot.
Beautiful, Craig. Thank you for sharing.
Alright, now that Iron Man 2 chat is over.
It will never be over.
Shall we get back to the mystery?
Yes.
Right. So, immediately, this case seemed odd to detectives. It was unlikely that Greg had been beaten because he didn't have any bruises. He wasn't found under a heavy object, so he wasn't crushed. And if he wasn't beaten or crushed, if he wasn't beaten or crushed elsewhere, and then brought back to his hotel room, there was no evidence on the surveillance video of the hallway of anyone going into his room.
Question: is there to say that these wounds aren't old and healing?
There isn't anything, but just logic says that he would have been on some medication, or he would have had some sort of brace inside him or something to have kept his ribs healing. So the likelihood is low.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if there's this is just once again just going down a dead end route, but every stone turned. That's not how you say that. No stone left unturned.
No, I like every stone turned.
I have a way with metaphors, what can I say?
A true wordsmith.
Absolutely. Okay, so what if... Now let's go down a little tangent here. He was targeted by Nazis.
No! There's nothing to do with Nazis!
Agent. He is a secret agent who can't go to the hospital, because how can he explain his way out of that? How can you say I was attacked by Nazis because I'm protecting our nation? What country is it here?
America.
Do you think Nazis are like secret agents?
I'm protecting our
We're going back
nation.
to Iron Man 2. This is Hydra.
It's Hydra, right. The Nazi organization Hydra. That's why he was watching the movie. It's actually research for him because the events of it are real. Little does everyone know. Highly secret fact. I shouldn't even be telling you that. So, he's attacked by the
highly secret
Hydra.
fact, yeah.
He can't go to the hospital because then he'll be targeted there, and he can't let slip what actually happened. And he hasn't come up with a cover story yet. That's why he's watching Iron Man 2. He needs a moment to really think about it. He couldn't wear pants because it hurt too much. So he hasn't gone to the hospital. So he's self-treating it with, was he drinking?
There's nothing in here about him drinking.
Okay, he was not drinking to dull the pain. Damn it.
He was smoking and eating a Reese's Crispy Crunchy bar.
Okay, alright. So I've decided that he wasn't mid-jacking off. He's smoking, he's finished, he's relaxing, he's reclining.
He's eating that Reese's. He's not allergic to peanuts, is he? No, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be. No.
How would I know this?
Yeah.
Well,
and then he's also
that would
eating.
have been why he died.
He's also eating that to get his sugars back up so that he can go again later.
Yeah,
because he has
absolutely.
type 1 diabetes. His blood sugar was dangerously low.
Yes, of course.
That's totally what I meant. Yes, diabetes.
Diabetes. Yes.
Diabetes. Anyway.
Back to the story.
Yeah.
Quote, quote, mystery. You know what
I
I
mean. His neighbours, in the neighbouring rooms, hadn't heard anything that night. So, on the topic of his neighbours, after the body was found, the police decided to talk to the people in the neighbouring room.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group of 3 electricians, Lance Mueller and Tim Steinmetz were staying in the room, and the previous night had a guest, Trent Paisano, around.
Those are very powerful names.
They are very powerful names, aren't they?
Yeah.
You just happen to have 3 electricians nearby.
What?
What?
Well, you didn't say that these were all, like, electricians or something?
Yeah, these are 3 electricians.
It's just a gathering of Sparkies. Got it.
It just happens, I guess.
I think I read somewhere, but didn't include it in my notes, like they were going to some sort of convention together.
Of course.
But, yeah. When asked, they claimed to have heard a cough at about 10 p.m. They also said that a little bit earlier the power cut out. When asked, the hotel...
Sorry.
When asked,
wait, what?
I had to.
Yeah. At a bit before 10 p.m, the power cut out.
Mm-hmm.
When asked, the hotel said that a little before 10, Greg, our victim, blew a circuit, using the microwave. Other than that, the electricians knew nothing about the death.
Quick question. Could that have interfered with the
Cameras.
Yeah, the cameras. Because you said no one was seen entering or exiting his room.
It might have, but to my research, which actually was extensive on this one.
Extensive research.
I say it was extensive. I could only find about 5 sources that talked about this. That weren't all lies. So,
we love that.
Anyway, but I couldn't find anything saying that the cameras were interrupted. One would assume maybe they run on a separate generator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that would make sense, because if there was a... Were they night vision cameras, though? Because you would presume...
Oh, no, probably not.
Yeah, because
Wouldn't the lights just be on in the hall?
Yeah, but if it tripped a fuse and there was a power outage,
I don't know.
Assume that the lights would also go off?
I don't know, but that's more than I know.
Fair.
Just casual CCTV.
Yeah, casual CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the detective that was on the case, instead of calling it a homicide, deemed it an accident and a medical mystery. It then became a cold case.
Huh.
So,
He just happened to be kicked in the scrotum with a steel boot.
Any theories at this point? Now that it's deemed a medical mystery and all that jazz.
So he is not a good person. He was sexually harassing someone. So rightfully, they kicked him with a scrotum to make him go away. Completely good. He deserved it. Now, in his anger, he was turned on by this. So he was like, all right.
So he was into CBD.
Yes, exactly. So he decided to go up to his room and start like, all right, gotta watch Iron Man 3. I'm really in the mood.
2.
And then he starts, sorry, Iron Man 2, you're right, thank you. And then he starts jacking out to Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He finishes.
I have a flaw.
But it's the point. That's the point.
Okay.
He lives for the pain.
He lives for the pain. Got it. Sorry.
Yes, that's why he's watching a not very good movie as well.
Oh, yeah.
He lives for the pain.
He's a masochist.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he of course finishes. And then
He concludes.
Yeah, he concludes. He ends. And then he starts smoking, as you do, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the rest of his day.
No, you forgot the Reese's crunchy.
Oh yeah, to go again. Yes, to go again.
Yeah.
He was preparing to go again. That's why he went over to the bed and kneeled on it. As he was getting on the bed, he died.
What? Just an aneurysm or something?
No. See, what you didn't know was that with a heck, the woman that kicked him in the scrotum earlier with a steel-toed boot, because she's a part-time construction worker, but she's also a part-time witch, of course. So she lays a hex on him, and with with a hand that's like ghostly, she reaches in through his mouth, crushes all of his ribs, and tears up his stomach, liver, intestines, the lower specifically, and his heart. And he
never specified lower.
Well, it was the lower. She was aiming for the lower.
Please.
Get with the times. So she tears them all, rips her hand out, and as it exits and she blows out the candle, he spontaneously dies.
Oh, right.
I don't know if it's spontaneously if his organs just got ripped off.
Yeah, but
it's pretty not spontaneous.
Well, his heart got... Yeah, you're right. Look, it took him a minute to die. He was on the bed groaning in pain for a minute, okay? Are you happy? His heart...
I also assume he was doing some kind of stuff like arse stuff, because he was arse up, you know.
Well, it didn't... No, he had a cigarette in one hand, so that one...
Yeah, so he's arse up, cigarette one... Picture this in your head. He's on a bed. Iron Man 2's on the TV in front of him. He is arse up, lying on a bed on his knees, with his chest to the bed. He has a cigarette in one hand, and Reese's Pieces of cup in the other hand. This image, this mental image of him, and then you see like the spectral hand goes out of his mouth, it's like crushing his things,
like some sort of Mortal Kombat finisher.
Yeah,
which of course gets him off again.
No, but there's no cum found in his underpants, so that
they don't say there isn't. They don't say that there isn't.
They do.
They don't say that. They say
they
nothing else was
say
found.
No cum.
They say they don't specify semen. They say nothing else was found at the scene. They would have specified semen.
Well, maybe it's
I
right.
don't know if they would have. Would they have?
Yes.
Did they bust out of like a UV light?
Do we want to preserve this guy's dignity? We're
clearly not.
I mean, in our version of the story, he's sexual deviant. So
yeah,
we are besmirching poor Greg Flanagan's name.
Fighting Hydra. Those are the two theories running so far.
Yep.
Alright, Finn, how good we going?
Yeah, how close?
How close are we? Wait,
okay.
What's closer? He's an agent fighting a Hydra, or he got kicked in the tank by a witch.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're you're so far off that you may as well be on a different planet, and 10 being you've got it right. You guys are on about a -10.
Wait a minute. Would Sparkies wear steel toe boots?
I guess.
Interesting.
All right.
We get into it. We were misgender. Wait, the Sparkies were all dudes, right?
Yeah, the Sparkies were all dudes.
We were misgendering the person that did it.
Yeah,
now,
they weren't.
He's gay.
They were literally just 3 Sparkies that somehow beat him from the inside out.
Greg Flanagan did have a wife. I'll tell you that.
That means nothing, Finn.
Okay. So a year later.
Closeted.
A year after it was deemed a cold case, a private investigator named Ken Brennan took the case after Greg's wife Susie hired him. He goes round and asks all the same people, the electricians, the coroner, Susie. He decides to track down the people that were on the same floor, not just the neighbouring rooms, and asks them all questions, just general, like, what did you hear that night? Was anything seem odd? That sort of thing. And then one person just went, are you talking about when that gun went off?
The fuck?
What?
So can you tell why I love this mystery?
So the Sparkies killed him.
Never said that.
No, I didn't think.
Well, no, wait. This is relatively close to the Nazi theory, Finn. You said -10.
Yeah.
Him being a secret agent and there being guns involved are pretty close.
Okay, for one, you said Hydra, not Nazis.
They are the same.
You
one of them is fictional.
You made it Hydra because of
and it's
Iron Man
Nazis.
2. Hydra is still Nazis, okay? Semantics.
All right. A question Brennan asked Susie was what hand Greg smoked with. She answered his right hand, even though Greg was found with the cigarette in his left.
Okay.
He was planted. Someone's a necrophiliac.
Another question asked of Greg's wife was if there was anything...
Necrophilia.
He was the corpse in this situation.
Is any of his close enemies into necrophilia?
Or close friends. Anyway, another question asked of Greg's wife was if anything was odd with the room when it was found, to which Susie replied that it was very hot and Greg liked his room cold. Ken Brennan's theory at this point is that the power goes out. That kills the AC. Greg goes to turn the AC back on, takes his cigarette out of his mouth and into his left hand, goes to turn on the AC, and gets shot in the balls.
So they just didn't see that in the coronary report?
What do you mean?
I used to mistake the steel cap boot for a bullet.
Also, just so you know, there was no bullet hole found at the scene.
Okay, so it's...
So what if he had to get shot in the balls?
Listen and find out.
The would imply that it wasn't what? It wouldn't be a gaping hole. It'd just be like a surface level cut.
3 electricians. Are you aware of the rule of 3?
Oh, no.
When in a coven, you are stronger when 3.
So I'm just gonna sit back and let you talk.
Okay, so obviously... Okay, so it was only that one person that said they heard a gun.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of the electricians who said that. It was just another person who was on the floor that night.
Okay.
I'm willing to let you continue talking, Finn.
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Brennan then went back to the coroner and asked to have a look at the body. But it had been a year and Greg had been cremated by this point.
Yeah.
But they kept lots of scans as it had been a cold case. And that is procedure. He tells the coroner that he believes that he was shot. And the coroner insists that it was blunt force trauma of some variety, not a bullet. the coroner then elaborates and says that a bullet would have caused similar levels of damage, but there wasn't a bullet or an exit wound found.
It'd be inside him then.
Well, no, there wasn't a bullet found in the body.
Oh, it would have been extracted, right.
Yeah.
Because it's a secret agent!
Jesus.
It's a secret bullet.
The
bullet was a secret agent.
The bullet is made of ice.
Like the one that killed JFK. We're on a roll here.
Okay, alright, okay, settled.
JFK is Greg. What's his last name?
Flanagan.
G is sometimes pronounced as J, but for whatever reason, because some people think it's called Jiff, I am starting that fight. Fight me in the comments if you must.
This is on YouTube. Yeah, fight in the comments.
Yeah, fine. Okay. So, J, G, Greg is at the start, so J, F.
Flanagan.
Am I allowed to swear on this? I can't remember.
Yes, I've said fuck multiple times.
We've been talking about people's scrotums and like sexual deviant stuff.
Theoretically, that isn't swearing.
Theoretically, it is.
Okay, so wait, his last name started with an F, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Flanagan.
so Greg, I'm gonna call him Flick because I can't remember his last name again.
Flanagan, like the Pokemon, but with different letters.
What?
What?
Like Fennekin, but with an L.
Oh, okay.
That is not that similar.
No. It's
It
more
is.
like Finnegan. You could just say Finnegan.
You have to switch out like 3
Flanagan.
letters
It's
at different parts in the word.
It's it's Fennekin, and if you put an L in between the F and the E, it's Flanagan. That's how you pronounce it.
But he's saying Flanagan, like he has
Yeah.
a G in his name.
Flanagan.
You said Flanagan.
Oh,
What?
then that's my mistake. It's Flanagan.
Wait, no, I'm confused now. What
Here,
is it?
I'll post his name in the chat. If
Please
you
put
don't
the name in.
Here, it's just.
Oh, okay. I'll give you a slight pass for using the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Descriptor. Okay, so G becomes J, F for what is it? Flanagan, and K for killed. Greg Flanagan killed. JFK.
Well, he also has a K in the second half of his name.
Oh, okay. You're going for the middle of the name as an initial.
It's Greg Flanagan.
Okay.
Everyone
like
knows
that
this, Talitha. It's just.
So, in theory, he is JFK. Therefore, it was preordained that he would be assassinated with a bullet that went missing that looked suspiciously like a steel-toe boot kicking.
The only thing that's missing is a grassy knoll.
Sorry?
Because the shooter was on the grassy knoll for the JFK killing.
I thought he was in a building.
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about the assassination. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So,
yeah.
Ken decided to have a look at all the scans that the coroner took, and he was looking through them, going through where all of the damage was, and he eventually stops at the heart. He goes, "Hey, can you kind of zoom in on that?" It just went, "My
It's
God!"
a penis.
Did the bullet go all the way to his heart?
It went. What the coroner originally thought was a burst artery was actually the bullet that killed Greg Flanagan.
Oh my God.
And cue
Was
the
he
Bon
shot through
Jovi.
the taint?
Cue the Bon Jovi because he was shot through the balls into the heart. So,
Dear God.
Holy shit.
So someone was like, so
That's why
I guess the next thing is who's in the room below him? The Nazis.
the witches.
There wasn't. No, you said there were
The
no
Nazi witches.
and secretly construction workers because they were wearing steel-toe boots.
Alright, so Ken Brennan then went back to room 348 to look for a bullet hole. And he noticed an odd dent in the wall that the hotel had covered up.
Oh my god.
He goes into the next room where the electricians were and discovers the entrance hole.
It was the Sparkies, and that's why they said they didn't hear a noise. I was gonna say it's weird that they said they didn't hear anything when someone else did, but you said that the rest of that floor didn't say that they heard a gunshot, unless they bribed him off.
All right.
But it was the Sparkies.
So, Ken then reviewed previous interviews that him and the police had done, and the cough that the Sparkies claimed to have heard was actually after the time of death.
Yeah, they're bastards.
Yeah.
And they did it.
Ken then went back to the electricians and says to all of them that, the others confessed. Most of them still denied, but one of them, who was Tim Steinmetz, burst out crying and then told him that Lance Mueller had told him to go to his car, grab a bottle of liquor and his new pistol. When he gave Lance his pistol, he started showing it off, and it accidentally went off, narrowly missing Trent, going through the wall and hitting Greg Flanagan in the ghoulies, killing him.
Does it hit him in the taint?
No, in the testicles, scrotum.
How?
I don't know. Good shot.
Was he kneeling over the bed?
You're right. I guess if he was.
Look, I don't know how.
How was there no blood?
I don't know. Maybe the balls are a bloodless zone.
No, they wouldn't be a bloodless zone.
No, they are not.
Also, he was pantsless, but he was wearing underpants, right?
No, pantsless. Oh, actually, it just says pantsless. I don't know the underpants sitch.
I was gonna say, if he's wearing underpants, there would be a bullet hole in them.
So there's no blood. Was there? Did you not find the entry wound on his balls?
That was a small laceration in the scrotum.
But it was a cut.
Well, it was a hole.
Yeah, it was a hole. But Jacob, you should know this. The scrotum is a very malleable bit of skin.
I don't care how malleable it is. Shouldn't you do a proper examination and tell that a hole is not a cut?
Like, can't you tell that it goes deeper?
What?
Look, I think this might just be a case of the medical examiner not really knowing what they were doing.
They should be fired.
Maybe they didn't want to touch his balls for too long. I'm gonna give him that out, I guess.
Alright, and like I said, this one's been solved, so I can't really ask for any final theories, but any final comments?
Theory is that it wasn't an accident, and they were from Hydra, and they were assassinating him. And his
so did they get arrested?
Was to cover it up.
The guy who Lance Mueller got arrested because he was the one who for manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them,
they get charged with like interfering with an investigation, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I didn't see anything on if they got sentenced. So maybe
they just got like fined or something. They're like, don't do it again.
Slap on the wrist, sent on their way, sort of thing.
Maybe they're like, look, if you fix the wiring in my house, we have a problem. It's too expensive. Just fix it and you can go.
Moral of the story is, don't have alcohol while holding a gun.
And make sure the safety's on.
Moral of the story is, wear pants in your hotel room.
And don't trust the Nazis.
You might get shot. Yeah.
Or you might get shot and they just ignore that there's a bullet hole.
And then some people on the internet years later are going to call you a sexual deviant.
Or a secret agent.
Either or.
Or both.
Alright. And I think that's all we have time for today. I've been Finn.
I have been Talitha.
I am Jacob.
All right, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Voynich Manuscript. Bye.
Bye.